Hello all of you, this is Rahul from Opus. Today we are going to discuss about 3-point perspective and that too in worm's eye view. Okay, so now what is worm's eye view? It is the angle very below angle from which an object or a subject is viewed. Okay, so suppose if I've drawn a horizon at a very low level and the vanishing points are set on two sides, and there will be a third vanishing point which will be above. Okay, so using these three vanishing points, all the objects will be drawn. Now how the objects will appear in this 3-point perspective, that is a thing to understand. Okay, so suppose I draw a straight line which is nothing but a side of a cube or a rectangular cube which is lying on this base. Okay, so to get the sides, as we have known about 2-point perspective, the sides will go and meet somewhere here. And suppose we have made this like this is the width of this side, and these lines, okay, the lines on this side will appear to go and meet this third vanishing point, and thus the lines will appear to be somewhat tilted. Okay, so when we draw a certain viewpoint in this angle, it appears that we are observing this subject from a very from a very low angle, and its base appears to be straight because we are observing it from a very ground level. So in this way, if we start constructing other uh, buildings in this manner, where the lines are going and meeting somewhere there, so we will be having a composition in 3-point perspective which gives a very dynamic view. Okay, now if you start adding the details uh, of the buildings, you will see that it gives the impression that we are observing a subject from a very low angle. So this is how 3-point perspective works, and right from here itself we can understand. So suppose if you give certain clouds and other thing, it gives the impression that you are observing this cityscape or whatever from a very dynamic bottom angle. Okay, so here we have taken the reference of the 3 vanishing points here, but in practical, when you will be using the same concept for drawing in the examination, you will be having a certain frame where you have to make the drawing. So every time it is not possible that you have to fit, not possible or also not desirable that you fit all your uh, uh, vanishing points inside the frame itself. So you have to just understand and recollect what is the theory of the 3-point perspective, and from there taking the understanding the rules from there, you have to just make the drawing itself. So we first started with creating our horizon at a very low angle. So see, I'm just making the horizon at a base at a very ground level, so we have a very low space for the ground itself. Okay, now from there you can start making or giving the dynamic shapes. You see, I am drawing these lines as in a way so that it seems like it is going to meet somewhere at the top. Okay, in this way itself. So all I'm not drawing at all a straight line. So these are all angular lines. So it appears to go and meet somewhere at the vanishing point number 3, and these lines are going to meet at vanishing point number 1 and 2. So in this way, you will just utilize the concept of 3-point perspective in your sketches that you will be doing inside your drawing frame in the examination. So that is how you have to execute your drawings in the examination. And see, now from starting from here itself, I am having that view, or having that impression that we are drawing something in 3 point perspective. So that is what is crucial to understand and crucial to make things in your drawing plane. So suppose there is certain other buildings on this side whose only certain parts we are observing, or for the sake of uh, convenience, you can just mark certain areas, and then you can give the details, a little bit of it, wherever possible. So see here, if I draw like this, it gives the impression that we are observing certain details of the house at a very low angle. So this is how you have to conceptualize the other buildings also, which is lying on the sides. Okay, now for this one, you can just give a very limited architectural details, but all these lines you have to understand that it is going to meet somewhere at the top level. That is at the vanishing point number 3. So drawing these lines in angular manner is very important to give that feel of that drawing. So this is what is important, and that is what you have to achieve through your drawings, so that you have that crucial feel into your drawings, of that it is being viewed from a very low angles. And see, if I add a figure here, okay, then I will also draw the figure in a way which will show the figure in a very low angle also. Okay, so see, you can draw the legs a little longer. Okay, suppose we can create the figure a little bit downward so that it balances with the composition. So suppose from here, okay, so since we are observing the figure from a low angle, we will see lengthy legs, and the upper part of the body will appear to be slightly smaller because we are observing it from a lower angle. So that is what another crucial uh, mannerism in of how uh, figures and other details are drawn. So this is also these things also you have to keep in mind, so that dynamic angles are evident in your drawings itself. So that is what makes your drawing look like, okay, you have try to draw the figure and all the compositions in 3 point perspective. Okay, so in this way you have to understand the concept of 3 point perspective, and then you have to apply that in your drawing so that it gives the right feel. Now after you have that rough sketch, then you can go for solid lines, which will give more impactful uh, edge to your drawings. So here I can go for very neat and clean straight lines. Okay, and that can emphasize all the details that we have just drawn before. But remember that everything you have to draw, you have to draw in a very fast manner, because times will be very limited. So it's better you practice that 3-point concept in first, with all the making all the points in a given paper, and draw only just simple cubes, and then you can start attempting these dynamic compositions, which would give much more depth into your uh, drawings. So see, this ground level I have kept almost straight, and that only gives the impression that we are trying to see a subject from a bottom angle. So every lines that you make will have that feel that it is going to meet above, and we are observing from a below angle. So this sense of drawing which line to which line shall go in which direction, that is one thing that you have to figure out while you make a composition like this. So here I might add a little details about the figure. Suppose he's wearing cloth, and just adding certain volume, and see this way of dynamically creating the figure itself and keeping its head small gives also give that impression that we are observing the figure too from a very low angle. And if you just add the shade below the ground, so it re-emphasizes that feel, and you can add certain details here. So that is how you compose and create that feel of a scene being drawn, uh, which is being seen from a very low angle, that is the worm's eye view, and you use 3-point perspective techniques to create a viewpoint like this. So I hope this lesson helps you in understanding worm's eye view in 3-point perspective, and you can apply those principles to create compositions like this. Thank you.